Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome back to the channel. I am your host, The Masked Hope, and today we are paying tribute to a very special class of athlete. We're not talking about the high-flying cruiserweights or your technical maestros, no. We're talking about the titans, the behemoths, the men who make the ring tremble with every step. Today, we are honoring the kings of a very sacred art form, the art of slapping meat. Pause. That's right, we are counting down the top 6 big meaty men to ever grace the square circle. These are the guys who live for bone-jarring impact, the thunderous collision that you can feel in your chest. And before we dive into our list, we have to pay homage to the man himself who gave this glorious concept a name. The man who himself is a grade A big meaty man. We are talking about the one and only Big E Langston. A former powerlifter who could deadlift a small car, Big E brought a new level of infectious energy and raw power to the WWE. But beyond his incredible strength and wildly entertaining persona, as part of the New Day, Big E gifted the wrestling world with a phrase that perfectly encapsulates a beloved style of wrestling. In his own words, while others might crave 5-star matches and 30-minute classics, what he truly desires is big, meaty men slapping meat.
What did he say?
It's a state of mind, a commitment to being a mover of other men. It's about being stout, powerful, and making the earth tremble when you move. So as we move into this countdown, we do so in the spirit of Big E, a true connoisseur of carnage and a big meaty man in his own right. Kicking off our list at number 6 is a man who practically bleeds for a good stiff fight, the Celtic warrior Sheamus. From the moment he burst onto the scene with his fiery red hair and chest as pale as the Irish moon, we knew this guy was different. He was here to fight. Sheamus's entire offense is built on brute force. His signature beats of Bahrain is a sadistic spectacle of clubbing blows that leaves the opponent just looking like ground beef. And then there's the bro kick, a move that looks like it would decapitate a lesser man. It's not some fancy super kick. It is a size 15 boot rocketing towards your skull. What truly solidifies his spot is his mentality. And while we're recording this late in 2025, it's worth remembering that just a couple years ago at WrestleMania 39, that he had a near legendary war with Gunther and Drew McIntyre. The match set a new standard for brutality on the grandest stage, and Sheamus openly said that he would love to run that back one more time before he hangs up his boots. He doesn't just tolerate physicality, he craves it. For his sheer love of a hard-hitting scrap, Sheamus is worthy of an entry on our list. At number 5, we have a man who is as much as a genetic freak as he is a big meaty man. Big Papa Pump Scott Steiner. In the early days of the Steiner brothers, Scott was an incredible athlete, blending amateur wrestling prowess with explosive power. But when he bleached his hair and donned a chainmail, he became Big Papa Pump. A terrifying new beast was unleashed. Steiner became obsessed with muscle mass, transforming himself into a walking, talking action figure with biceps that had their own zip codes. His in-ring style became less about technical wrestling and more about overwhelming his opponents with raw, unadulterated power. The Steiner recliner was a submission hold that looked like it could legitimately snap someone in half. But what truly made Scott Steiner a meaty man was his unhinged intensity. His promos were stuff of legend, most notably the infamous Steiner Math promo, where he with a straight face broke down the statistical possibility of his opponents winning.
6 2/3%.
This wasn't a man playing a character. This was a man who believed every single word he said, and that conviction translated into the brutal in-ring work. When Scott Steiner was in the ring, you believed he was there to hurt people, and more often than not, he did. Man was stiff. Pause. Coming in at number 4, we have a man who defies the laws of physics for his size. The beast from the east, Bam Bam Bigelow. Tipping the scales at nearly 400 pounds with the iconic flames tattooed to his skull, Bam Bam was a true monster. But what set him apart was his astonishing agility. This was a man who could perform cartwheels moonsaults with the grace of a man half his size. But don't let his acrobatics fool you. Bam Bam was all about power. First, his offense was a blistering array of headbutts, lariats, and his most devastating finisher, greetings from Ashbury Park. It was amazing to think that 2025 marks the 30th anniversary of a main event at WrestleMania 9 against NFL superstar Lawrence Taylor. That match was a huge cultural crossover moment that brought so many eyes to the product, and it was all anchored by the believable threat of his agile yet terrifying big man. He was a rare breed who could not only dish out the punishment, but could also absorb an incredible amount of it. For his unique blend of size and power and surprising agility, Bam Bam Bigelow was a true meaty man legend. Our number 3 spot belongs to a man who was more than a wrestler. He was a mythical figure, a true giant among men. Andre the Giant, the 8th wonder of the world, was a sight to behold. At over 7 feet tall, weighing in well over 500 pounds, his mere presence was awe-inspiring. Andre's in-ring style was a testament to his immense size and power. He didn't need to do flips or fancy moves. A simple chop to the chest from Andre sounded like a gunshot and left a handprint the size of a dinner plate. He would toss opponents around the ring like they were children's toys. There were countless stories of his legendary feats of strings, from him flipping cars to drinking an entire brewery dry. But perhaps the greatest testament to Andre's meaty man status was the impact of his body slams. For years, no one could slam Andre. It was the wrestling equivalent of pulling a sword from the stone. When Hulk Hogan finally did it at WrestleMania 3, there was a moment that translated wrestling and became a part of pop culture history. Andre the Giant was the ultimate immovable object, a mountain of a man who defined what it meant to be a big, powerful presence in the ring. At number 2, we have a man who is not just a big meaty man, but a legitimate certified beast. Brock Lesnar. From the moment he debuted, it was clear that Lesnar was different. He was a generational, once-in-a-lifetime athlete with a combination of size, speed, and raw power that the wrestling world has never seen. Lesnar's offense was a symphony of destruction. His German suplex city became a terrifying destination for his opponents, as he would ragdoll them across the ring with ease. The F5 is possibly one of the most devastating finishers in wrestling history, with a testament to his incredible strength. What truly sets Lesnar apart is his legitimate combat sports background. As a former NCAA Division heavyweight champion, a former UFC heavyweight champion, Lesnar brings an aura of authenticity and danger to everything he does in the squared circle. His matches are often short and brutal and to the point. He doesn't waste time with theatrics. He gets in the ring, destroys his opponent, and gets out. His dominant victories over the likes of John Cena and Undertaker are legendary for its one-sided brutality. Brock is a living embodiment of a big, meaty man, a true predator in the squared circle. And finally, at number 1, the undisputed king of big, meaty men. The man who was so stiff and powerful that it blurred the lines between performance and reality. Big Van Vader. When you talk about men who hit hard, you have to start the conversation with Vader. A former NFL player, Vader was a 450-pound monster who moved with the speed and agility of a man half his size. His moonsault, a move that should have been impossible for a man his size, was a thing of terrifying beauty. But what truly defined Vader was his incredibly stiff and realistic style. His punches, his clothesline, his corner splashes, everything looked and sounded like it was meant to cause legitimate harm. There were countless stories from wrestlers who have been in the ring with Vader. All of them attest to the fact that a match with Vader was a legit fight. His feuds with the likes of Sting and Cactus Jack were some of the most brutal and realistic in wrestling history. Vader was a force of nature, a walking, breathing, bone-crushing mastodon who set the standard for what a big, hard-hitting, intimidating wrestler should be. For his unparalleled intensity, his shocking agility, and legit stiffness, Big Van Vader is and forever will be the ultimate big, meaty man to ever slap me. And that's my list. What do you think? Who are some of your favorite big meaty men? Let me know in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, like and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss a moment of action. Until next time, keep on slapping meat. Whoa, pause. I'm out. Peace.